डियर स्टूडेंट्स, आज हम अपने एमएससी फाइनल के इकोलॉजी एंड इथोलॉजी के पेपर के अंदर सोशियो बायोलॉजी की बात करेंगे। नाउ सोशियो बायोलॉजी, ये टर्म है सोशियो बायोलॉजी। इट कैन बी defined as systematic study of the evolutionary basis of all forms of social behavior in all kinds of organisms. So we can trace back to late 1940s when John Paul Scott in USA coined this word sociobiology in 1946 in a conference on genetics and social behavior. But even then, this concept did not gain much recognition until 1975, when a book was published on sociobiology named The New Synthesis. It was written by Edward O. Olson, and he was a professor in Harvard University. Now we know that many animals, they form groups to enhance their foraging success and better protection against the predators. Now this group of individuals of the same species that is organized in a cooperative manner, it is extending beyond the sexual and parental behavior, and this group is known as a social group. The study of the biological basis of social behavior, it is called sociobiology. So sociobiology, it has provided a whole new way of looking at the behavior. Now we know that the sociobiology, it found its recognition from the Wilson's book. Ever since sociobiology has found its bearings, it has influenced interpretation of animal behavior. Now scientists, they have old data in the light of its evolutionary significance, and sociobiologists, they believe that some principles that explain animal behavior can be applied to interpret social behavior of human beings also. So this belief has given rise to another interesting branch which deals with human ethology. तो यहाँ पे human ethology has also been affected in terms of sociobiology. Now when we study the sociobiology, that is the new synthesis of sociobiology, the study employs evolution to interpret the basic patterns of animal social behavior, and it has provided two ways of interpreting the behavior. One is the proximate behavior, and another is the ultimate behavior. Now there is a question: why do birds and fish, they migrate? So the proximate answer given by an ethologist is it would be because they undergo hormonal changes due to change in temperature, day length, rainfall, or humidity, etc. And they accumulate body fat for migration and restlessness, and consequently they start migrating. But a sociobiologist will explain it using ultimate interpretation. According to them, scarcity of food causes animals to explore other areas with more food. That is why they migrate. If they get sufficient food, they can survive better. So then they can leave more progeny. They move to escape the harsh climate or to survive and breed for that. These are some of the reasons that they migrate. That means the proximate and ultimate reasons, they are given by different persons. That is, proximate reasons are given by the ethologists, and the ultimate interpretations, they are given by the sociobiologists. Then the sociobiologists, they look into questions like what is the evolutionary significance of a behavior, then what is the adaptive significance of the behavior, are animals behaving in the way that maximizes their fitness. The proximate reasons help to give the ultimate answers. The explanation of any behavior is more satisfying when it is explained both ways. So here we need a special mention of the William D. Hamilton, British evolutionary biologist. And he became famous for his work on kin selection by proposing Hamilton's rule. There are many other famous scientists also. One is Clinton Richard Dawkins. He has written a book, The Selfish Gene, which is popularized for the gene-centered view of evolution. Then there are some other scientists also who have worked in this field. Now we can study the sociobiology in many units. First is the reproductive success. Now, what is reproductive success? It is measured in terms of number of reproductively mature progeny an animal leaves. Then there is fitness. Another unit can be fitness. It is a measure of evolutionary success that applies to reproduction and leaving of fertile progeny. Then we have here some more points can be included, that is classical or personal fitness, inclusive fitness, kin selection. Kin selection means the selection of genes due to one or more individuals favoring the survival and reproduction of relatives. who possesses the same genes by common descent and is called as kin selection. Now, what is kin selection? Nowadays, sociobiologists are interested in how behavior can be explained logically as a result of selective pressures in the history of a species. Thus, they are often interested in intrinsic or intrusive behavior. Now, how this can be explained? Here, behavior, we can explain it in explaining the similarities rather than the differences between the cultures. For example, parental care among many species of mammals, including humans. Now, social behavior is believed to have evolved in a fashion similar to other type of non-behavioral adaptations such as coat or fur color. Now, individual genetic advantage fails to explain certain social behaviors as a result of gene-centered selection, and the mechanism responsible for group selection employ paradigms and population statistics borrowed from evolutionary game theory. For example, altruism. What is altruism? Now, if altruism is genetically determined, then what happens? The altruistic individuals, they must reproduce their own altruistic genetic traits for altruism to survive. But when altruists, they lavish their resources on non-altruists at the expense of their own kind, and here the altruists, they tend to die out and the others tend to increase. That means a certain type of genetic character, it only increases. Now, within sociobiology, social behavior is first explained as a sociobiological hypothesis by finding an evolutionary stable strategy that matches the observed behavior. Then the stability of a strategy can be difficult to prove, but usually it will predict gene frequencies. The hypothesis can be supported by establishing a correction between the gene frequencies predicted by the strategy and those expressed in a population. Now, altruism between social insects and littermates has been explained in such a way. Altruistic behavior, that is the behavior that increases the reproductive fitness of others at the apparent expense of the altruists, in some animals has been correlated to the degree of genome shared between altruistic individuals. And this is an important concept in sociobiology, that temperament traits exist in an ecological balance. Now, studies on human behavior, genetics have generally found behavioral traits such as creativity, extroversion, aggressiveness, IQ, they have high heritability. But there are researchers who have carried out studies on certain different type of traits, like the criminal nature of human beings. Now, criminality is a highly or extremely controversial activity, and there are arguments that in some environments criminal behavior might be adaptive. So this is another example of socio-biological theory of culture practice such as slavery and autocracy. Criminality is extremely controversial. There are arguments that in some environments criminal behavior might be adaptive. Another example is the practice of slavery and autocracy. So these are some of the examples which are studied under socio-biology, that how the socio-biology is different from the conventional behavioral studies. What else we can add in socio-biology? That means the ethology is totally biological, but in socio-biology we can add the society also and the effect of the society on the behavior. Thank you.